Hey everyone, my name is Amanda, and today I'll be taking you through my scripting process for explainer videos and animations. It's all in the script. It is so important to really think about the story that you're trying to share and how you're going to connect with your intended audience. Even before you start thinking about the visual design approach through to how you're going to design your explainer video or animation, just really nail your script first. That is priority. So I'll take you through some of the steps on scripting, and these steps will be clearly defined in the template that I'll be sharing after the video. So you can use this video to walk you through how to use the template, or the template should be hopefully clear enough with the instructions that I've laid in there, so you can go through it step by step, because I did include some examples in there as well. But firstly, let's focus on the subject. What is the title of your story, or the subject of your story that you want to share with your intended audience? I'm going to use an example throughout this video. I love retrospectives. So we're going to use that as an example. So it's how retrospectives help teams navigate complexity. And then you move into your audience. Now, take a moment to really understand and unpack who your target audience is and who do you want to reach. Would it be a specific group of people within your organization, or a specific group of people in your community, or your whole organization? Really depends. Start unpacking who your target audience is. And also in here, really unpack, what are their key motivators? What frustrates them? How can you tap into their emotional needs and what they need to learn as well? So just really brain dump a small simplified profile of who your audience is, just so you can understand who you're designing for. So for this instance with retrospectives, my target audience would be new team formations, project squads, or existing teams working on projects. And then we move into key messages. What concepts do you want your target audience to remember? Usually with key messaging, I would recommend top three, or your pick three key messages and concepts that you want your audience to walk away with. So here, for example, I have retrospectives are a structured opportunity for teams to reflect on their past experience and outcomes by reflecting on their experiences and outcomes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I won't read all of this, but you get the gist of it. So I'm pretty much spotlighting three key things I want my intended audience to walk away with. There's only so much you can cram in a video. When you're telling a story, you want to stress and focus on the right areas for your audience to walk away with something valuable and impactful, something they can remember. And thirdly, style and tone of voice. So what is the tone of voice that you are trying to portray within the video? And it could be through the narration as well. Do you have any inspiration or sample visuals at this point? So here for the video that I'm planning to create, it will be a conversational tone of voice, friendly with a mixture of approachable, connects with the viewers on a personal note. Other examples of tone of voices are playful, educational, inspirational, and I have a drop down in the template that you can cherry pick which tone you'd like to use. And it's also nice to do a combination of tones as well. You can do a humorous and educational tone, move that together, or a friendly but also professional tone of voice. So it just really depends on who your audience is. So the theme inspiration of my video would be hiking a mountain. So I would like to bring in how we can create retrospectives as part of using a hiking a mountain analogy. Then in the next section of your template, so now that you have your subject, you know who your target audience is, you know the key messages that you're trying to share with your audience and allow them to walk away with something, and you kind of know what the tone of voice and the style is. Now you're going to focus on the current state and the pain points and assumptions of your audience. What does your target audience think, feel, and know or want? So, here in the example, I have some may be curious about the concept of retrospectives, while others may have a mixed experience or by seeking advanced strategies to improve their retrospectives. Overall, the viewers would have an interest in the topic and a desire to learn more about how retrospectives can be used to enhance team performance and outcomes. Whew. And then you move into setting the scene. So create context that helps the audience get in the mood of things. What do you need to introduce? So for me, in working through a retrospective explain a video, explaining that concept and how that's impactful when working in teams or projects, I would start with the analogy of hiking a mountain, or start with a problem, or to tell the story. So what that would look like would be, retrospectives is like hiking a mountain, etc., etc. I'll show you an example of what that would look like later on. And future state, after the explainer video, what does your audience think, feel, know, or want? So after they've watched the video, viewers will love retrospectives as much as Amanda and will forever use them in all the interactions forever and ever. That is the future state. And another future state would be they see the value for improving projects, team performances, and outcomes. They are motivated and inspired to practice the tools. So remember, explainer videos is an awareness piece. It is not something that will change people's lives. I would usually pair a explainer video with either a how-to guide or a playbook, or just an infographic or something that they can use in their day-to-day to help them level up or shift their mindset or behavior as well. So here's an example of a script that I'll read out shortly and briefly, because you can pause this video and read through it. But for example, retrospectives can be like hiking up a mountain. When hiking up a mountain, it's important to take occasional breaks to rest, check your map, and assess your progress, etc., etc. So you can see that I've weaved in an analogy just to help paint a picture. This also helps me as the designer to craft a nice video around, mountains or people hiking. I can see maps used as icons, or progress. But this is why it's so nice to focus on telling a story as opposed to just spitting information at people. So in terms of the storyboard and scripting, I'll be focusing on what's bolded here. And this is how I would break it out into a storyboard. So in the first scene, I like to break out my paragraphs into smaller sentences, or sometimes I might even break up a sentence in half or so, dependent on what scene I visualize. So, for example, in scene one, retrospectives can be like hiking up a mountain. So, my visual design approach would be sunrise with a hiker and a mountain opening a scene. Or in scene number two, when hiking up a mountain, taking the visual design approach will be taking steps towards a mountain. And then for scene number three, it's important to 3 key points. So take occasional breaks to rest, check your map, and assess your progress. Okay, so here is the copy of the explainer video blueprint. You'll be able to make a copy of this, and yeah, just let this blueprint guide you through. There's 3 clear steps. The first one is defining your story. So here you can go through the subject, audience, key messages, tone of voice and style. You can drop down and select which tone of voice or add your own tone of voices that you may have. And then going into your current state, how you set the scene, make your point, conclusion, and future state. So there's some extra steps in here that will help guide you. And then here, feel free to dump your script in here. Just write it out. If there's any notes where you want to tie it back to how it connects with your audience, for each of the sections, you can add some notes in there. And then also here in step 3, the storyboard design. So this is how I would usually design my storyboards. Sometimes I'll do a sketch, sometimes I'll do a quick prototype, and I'll add in some visuals just to help my stakeholders or my clients understand where the visual design approach is and where it's going. But I would break up the scenes via the scripts per sentences.